Hello and good morning, Top Fan Rivalry supporters and followers of the Can of Corn. Welcome to Thursday. We had a new episode. It's been a week and a half or so since we've done it. That's Big Dave. I'm Big Bill. We're having a great time today. Dave, are you ready to get this thing on today?
Look here, man. Tis the season. It is the holiday season upon us. So, first and foremost, happy holidays to each and every one of you out there listening, watching, um, getting this information and getting your daily dose of can of corn in, however you do. Um, but yeah, no, I'm doing great, man. Looking forward to hopefully getting some free agent signed soon, but we'll get to that later. Bill, we need to start off this show by thanking a couple of people, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So let's get the show started off right. So first and foremost, let's shout out to the pizza store in Laguna Hills. Man, these guys got the pizza. They got great salads, they got great pizzas. Dave, I had their barbecue chicken pizza the other night. Oh my, oh my, oh my. They had a specialty meatball one that they put some honey on it and everything. Oh, forget about it. I mean, these things, they got meatballs, they got sandwiches, they got everything. Listen, even the Sandwich King himself, Joe, over at Pop Art Sports Cards, approves this place. And he's from Philly. He knows sandwiches. So if you're in the Orange County area, stop on by Laguna Hills. Go to the pizza store. They're on Alicia. They're great people. Ask for Taylor. She's the manager. Tell her you heard about them through Top Fan Rivalry and the podcast. Secondly, we got to talk about our guys who you know, Dave. And shout out to Gravity Red Productions. You need some filming done. These guys are local in the Southern California area, but they go all around, believe it or not, all around the country. They're in Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, they're all over the country. So shout out to these guys. These guys were our sponsors for our softball game in Orange County. They allowed us to play for free with their sponsorships. We printed out 100 shirts, put their names on them. It was great, Dave. So shout out to these guys. I am so excited to have these guys as part of the Top Fan Rivalry family and look forward to seeing what we can do in the future with them. But that being said, Dave, if you're listening to this in the audio, go over to YouTube, check us out on YouTube because this episode is in YouTube and it is also in the Top Fan Rivalry locker room. So go check it out over there. Dave, I'm going to toss it over to you now. I mean, we got some stuff we got to talk about, right?
Yes, first, while you're at the YouTube page, go on and mash that subscribe button. It really helps us out. It helps show us that you are enjoying what we are putting out here for the masses. Consequently, if you don't like what we're putting out for the masses, go ahead and mash that subscribe button so you can leave a comment and tell us what we need to do better. But
Tell us where we
anyway,
can go now. We can get there.
yeah, look here. Let's go ahead and talk about the 235-pound elephant in the greater New York metropolitan area. Juan Soto, of course, backed the Brinks truck up to Citi Field there. Got him a suite, I heard, a suite and a sweet deal. Um,
And we lost Dave's audio. Dave, we lost your audio, sir. Dave's just talking away and we lost the audio. Dave, we can't hear you. We lost his audio, but he's sitting there talking about the Juan Soto deal. As he's fixing his stuff, let's talk a little bit about the Juan Soto deal. Let's talk about the Blake Snell deal. Let's talk about, I mean, there's a ton, Max Fried. I mean, forget about it. These guys have crazy amounts of money that they are making, and it
all
is
right. Are we
insane.
back
Now I
now?
can hear
Can you
you.
hear me now?
Yes, sir. Talk about this guy didn't back up the Brinks truck. He just bought the company.
Yeah, no doubt. Nothing like the absolute joy of a live recording here. Technical difficulties withheld. Obviously, I need to get a Brinks truck, but yeah, 15 years, $765 million.
Mhm.
The best part about that is that the Yankees came up 5 million short. And so I am feasting on the tears of Yankees fans once again. But we will segue because it could possibly be me crying in the end here in the long run. But Bill, 15 years, 765. that of course just it blows out the deal, the record breaking deal last year that you guys prorated on Shohei. This is guaranteed money. The kid cashed out. That's what he wanted to do. When he turned his hat backwards in the dugout at the end of the World Series, I kind of could see the writing on the wall. But anyway, he cashed out. Much props to him and his people. Bill, our contracts. This is, of course, the richest contract in all of sports. Okay, not just baseball. And football, soccer withheld possibly because these guys get teams. But anyway, what do you think about the state of contracts going on here, especially in MLB?
Way out of control. Way out of control. So I what I like about this contract is it's kind of a prove it to me contract with Juan Soto. He's got a 4-year out clause. So he could have a terrible season this season, but then have 3 fantastic seasons like he just came off of and get even a bigger deal, renegotiate for even a bigger deal. He could end up in Houston. He could end up in LA in 4 years. I mean, who knows? But what I don't like about it, it's too rich for the blood. I mean, listen, when you've got $1 billion in payroll that you're going to spend, a family of 4 is not going to be able to afford to go to the games anymore. So I just don't know what we're doing. I
Well,
don't like it. I keep thinking, and you're old enough to remember this, Dave. We're going to cross pollinate sports here, but I keep thinking of Latrell Sprewell saying, "I just have to feed my family. I just have to feed my family." He got
yeah.
the richest contract, and I just think of Juan Soto. There going, I just got to feed my family.
Well,
Please,
he's a Boris guy, and
yeah.
old Scotty has proven that he is a shrewd negotiator. I mean, just a couple of bits on that contract. There is zero deferred money on this.
Hmm.
So, what's the owner of the Mets name? I can't remember his name.
Stephen Cohn or Steve Cohn.
Steve Cohn. There, he's got the deep pockets. Let's just be honest. You know what I mean?
He
He's
does.
got the money. He's playing fantasy. Um, that we'll get to this later, but that immediately makes that one of the most lethal lineups in the National League. Um, uh, you know, no deferred money, like I said. It's got that intriguing opt out opportunity, like you said, where he could possibly make even more money. He got 75 mil on a signing bonus.
Mhm.
Like some guys play their whole career and don't make 75 mil. And he got that just for signing the deal. Not to mention the fact he is, of course, still in the Big Apple. The incentives there with other sources of media or income are astronomical. I think there's a no trade clause, which Boris is notorious for throwing that in there as well. I just hope it's not a sign of things to come because one thing that I do enjoy is parity in the game. When you've got smaller market teams that can battle. Look, I know you're a Dodger fan, but let's be honest. Well, I guess if y'all went on a 5-year cruise of winning, you wouldn't be complaining. But everybody outside of Southern California would probably have problems with that. Just watching the same old thing. Um, I am worried about how it's going to affect the rest of the dominoes. Um, the biggest domino of sorts is here in our hometown. Bill, what do you think?
Well, yeah, it is. And you bring up a point. Before I talk to you about that domino, I want to mention something to you. You're right, but we kind of went back to not as mediocre, and it's weird that I'm going to say this, but you had Blake Snell and you had Max Fried sign, and they both signed. Max signed for what, 218, Blake signed for 182, which is relatively reasonable, and I can't believe I'm saying that that's relatively reasonable, but
In
compared
this
to what,
market, yes,
yeah, but in the last 8 days, you've seen over $1 billion go out to 3 players. It's insane. It's insane.
yeah,
Now,
it's the state of the game.
I think that Juan Soto is going to finish his career as a Met? Probably not. I think he'll have some good years there, and then maybe year 6, 7, or 8, he's getting a little itchy. And in those no trade clause contracts, they're not. That doesn't mean that they can't be traded. It means that they can reject any trade. But like we're seeing with Nolan Arenado says, "Give me the heck out of St. Louis, send me to Anaheim, to the Dodgers, to the Padres," and then he just added the Phillies, Mets, and Red Sox in just yesterday. So, anyways, um, Dave, your thoughts? You got a big fish there. That big fish just turned down 156 mil tickets because he said that he's worth 200 mil tickets. What are your thoughts on good old Alex Breggy?
Look here, man. First of all, Alex Bregman is an absolute saint. Mrs. Bregman, your baby boy, fantastic. He can get a free meal in town anytime he wants to. That being said, there's no way Bregman's cashing in 200 mil, I think. Even in this market, I don't think he's cashing in 200 mil. Not at his age, not with his um, proficiency for getting injured and starting slowly. Mix in new team, new dynamics, possibly new position. You know, I don't know, man. I think he may be the next big signing after these first three. I think he's definitely the biggest fish left out there. The longer it goes, I like the chances of him staying here in Houston. But I don't think we're budging. We may offer an extra year, but I think that is the max that they will do here. Dana Brown is already here in the last couple of days coming under fire locally for bringing up the fact that he's entertaining trades for Kyle Tucker, who of course we've got another year of team control over before his free agency at the end of next season. The thoughts were that we were going to re-sign him, but realistically, I don't think that the front office would put that money out for two players. So it's either Bregman or Tucker. And if that would be the case, I would just say let's let Breggy go. I've said this before that the Astros have been on the right side of letting fan favorites go in the past. See George Springer, see Carlos Correa, who is actually up on the market again. If anybody's looking for an injury-prone shortstop, but no, I wouldn't be opposed to him coming back, but I would almost want a hometown discount. And at this stage in his career, this is probably the last contract he may sign. And I don't blame him for wanting to cash out. He's a new father, got a young kid there, uh, bought a house recently. He's from New Mexico, bought a house in, I want to say, the Phoenix or the suburbs of Phoenix, somewhere out there. You know, he's a desert boy. Um, that being said, I know he loves it here in Houston. I've heard him say it before that he loves playing here. He loves the culture and everything. But I just don't think the Astros are in the market to spend that kind of money. Just because I also think that there are replacements that we can fit in here that I wouldn't be mad at. You know, what do you think about Bregman? Where do you think he's going to end up?
Detroit.
See, and I'm scared. I was afraid that you was going to say that. That Detroit. I hear Detroit, um, Boston, the Yankees. Of course, once they lose a free agent, it's been historic that they'll go all in on the next best guy. Um, but I don't know if there's just too much history there with Bregman, how he'll be accepted there in the Bronx, especially if he starts slow, as he tends to. But yeah, going to Detroit would definitely scare me. Those kids are a player like Bregman away. A good veteran presence in the locker room, a guy with a winning pedigree that could show a couple of kids these rings. Let's go get this. Would know how to turn it on when a win is needed. And you've got the history with AJ Hinch, who proved in this offseason that he severely outcoached Joe Espada. I've said it. Just don't add me. It is what it is. But you know what? If Bregman goes, man, there's a guy that I would be highly interested in seeing playing at third. I'll give you three guesses, Bill. Who do you think?
At third, huh?
Natural third baseman. We're not moving this guy to another to
Ooh.
another. Well, I'm sorry. Not a natural third baseman. He would be moving. Um, but anyway, we'll just cut to the chase here for the sake of recording purposes. Jorge Polanco, bro.
Oh,
I saw a
okay.
lot of this guy with Seattle. Um,
I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't
yeah,
have thought that.
solid infield guy.
Mhm.
And a guy who's been around the league a while. So there are a lot more other options, but that would be one that I wouldn't be afraid of looking at. We've also got some young talent. Our farm system isn't the greatest, so a rebuild doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But you know what? It's early. Let's see what happens. And I think once Bregman signs, it's kind of all going to all work itself out eventually.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, if I had to bet money, I talked to Shohei last night, and he said, "Yeah, don't bet that he'd be back in an Astros uniform."
the thing that scares me, Dave, and I get questions about this all the time. I was talking to a Mets fan today via text message, and they were saying, "Hey, what's LA? What's SoCal think of this whole Juan Soto thing? Do they care, or are they just thinking overpaid and move on?" I said they basically think overpaid and move on. From a outsider's perspective, outside of Houston, having been to Houston a bunch to see you and others and be around the environment and get some good breakfast. Um, my it almost feels as though um, Crane and Dana Brown are almost acting like they're going to rebuild, and it feels oddly. I mean, don't be offended by that, Dave, but it feels oddly strange. It's almost like these last 7 years haven't happened, and they're trying to rebuild so they can get to the glory days. And I'm thinking, do you not just see what just happened the last 7 years? I
Well, you
mean,
know what? And that rebuild happened organically because we
mhm,
sucked for so long and we were stockpiling young talent. You know,
mhm,
we've pilfered our farm system through a bevy of bad trades. More recently, Yusei Kikuchi rental. Guy didn't pitch a single game in the playoffs for us, and we gave up some really young talent, some really good young talent. I think one of
yeah,
those guys, being Wagner, is a potential all star. Lo Perfito was a young raw talent, definite fan favorite. That one's tough to give up, especially with what we're looking at now, where they're entertaining trades for Tucker, who, of course, once that came out, of course, everybody in the league is interested in a left-handed uh, five tool gold glove outfielder. Who wouldn't be? So the Cubs have massive interest. There's a trade possibility with the Cubs that I wouldn't be against. I won't get into it now, but I think it's too rich for the Cubs blood. But yeah, if we're in a rebuild mode, I just don't get it. Unless they're just playing with house money and they're happy with what they've done and they don't want to win one more right now as
mhm.
opposed to set it up to win five more in the next 10. I don't know. I'm not GM, but it's not how I'd go about it.
Well, here's the let's just call a spade, right? You guys play in the American League West. Right now, Texas doesn't necessarily have an identity. The A's don't have a home. The Angels have picked up a few people, but nothing that screams out, "Oh, I cannot believe that this is happening." Right? And so now I'm looking at you, Houston, and saying, Seattle is going to do what Seattle does. I'm looking at you, Houston, and saying, don't throw in the towel just yet. You could still win a few more divisions.
And quite possibly that could be their thinking is that we don't need, I mean, we can do some tweaking and I mean, we don't need a lot of help to win the division as is what I'm getting at. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
had the worst start in franchise history last year, and won it on the last day. So yes, it's extremely hard. Yes, I think that's why we were gassed in the postseason. But who knows? Only time will tell. We could do the next show, and I could be, standing on top of my chair, uh, praising the work of Dana Brown.
Yeah.
I could also be missing the next show, and you have another guest in here because I have thrown myself off of the top of uh, the park formerly known as Minute Maid Park. See, that's another thing that this season people don't know. The Astros have removed Minute Maid from the park. They cashed in a huge check from a Japanese air conditioning company who has a local Texas manufacturing plant here. So I kind of found out about the tie-in there. But no more juice box. So we've got to come up with another identity. And if you've ever been to Minute Maid in the summertime, unless they're changing the air conditioners, we definitely can't start calling it the ice box. So
Yeah.
Dyken Park, Dyken Field, whatever you're going to be, yeah, bring some new ACs in, and maybe we'll call it the igloo or something. But
Something.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, preach, brother, preach. You can't call it that. You can't call it that.
I mean, I'm just saying it would be a really cool name, the Ice Box. Come on,
Yeah.
that'd be nice. But you can't be the Ice Box and people are bringing in portable fans in a backpack. Just saying.
And everybody, Dave's down there in Houston, and to quote good old Coming to America, he ain't lying. I've been up there and gone, woof, it is hot up here.
Look here, man. No lies have been told. I'm telling you, I love my park. I love my Astros, but it is warm, warm in
Yeah,
there.
it gets a little warm. All right, so now we got winter meetings, right? And so to me, the winter meetings almost feel like it's a bunch of billionaires getting together, counting their monies, and a bunch of millionaires trying to go for the scraps. I mean, I don't know that it makes a lot of difference because last I checked, most of these people have cell phones and internet connections and can make the same trades with or without being at a winter meeting. But what do I know?
Yeah, no, I don't even think they're talking baseball. I think they're sitting around playing Clue or Skip Bo or a fantastic game of Uno. Um, I've started watching a new show recently. It's on Paramount. We're not getting paid for this, but go check out Landman with Billy Bob Thornton. It's
Okay.
great. It's about West Texas oil and all that. But there's a spot in this show where the billionaire owner of the oil company goes to this. He comes in on the helicopter on the roof of this skyscraper, goes into this luxurious conference room with all these other ties, and they're all just talking about energy and money and this and that. And he just slammed it down. He was like, let's just not forget that none of this is going to change. Anything that we're doing, we're all in the business of making money. And I think that's what they're doing. They're showing off their money clips. Um, you know, they're showing they're showing. Oh, look, we call it Daikon Park now. Check this out, guys. You got to see this check that we just cashed. Yeah, I don't think any baseball stuff is getting done. Let's be honest. Most owners have no idea what's going on with the day-to-day operations of the team anyway.
So it's funny when you said that playing Clue. Do you know where my mind went? My mind went to that last scene in Spies
Spies
Like
like
Us.
us. Yep.
Yeah,
No, they're playing Risk. Yeah.
they're playing
No.
Risk, and they
Yeah.
come out and they got all the press, and he's
Okay, for the young viewers out there, hit Google, go check out Risk. It's a board game, okay? And if you don't know what a board game is, go on and jump over and Google that too. We actually used to sit around a table with no electronics and roll dice and move little trinkets across a foldable board for hours on end. Okay. In my lifetime, I'm almost 50 years old. I have only been in two Monopoly games that were finished completely. Okay. And we're talking about some of these that went on for weeks on end. But yeah, board games, check it out. Risk, Spies Like Us. Look, there's a lot of Easter eggs there. Okay. You got to go back and you got to watch this show again and again. And you can do that on YouTube. And while you're on YouTube, mash that subscribe button. Okay.
did it.
While you're at it, since it's the holidays, if you want to give Big Dave a gift, go on over to TopFanRivalry.com. Check yourself something out in the shop over there. Okay. While you're there, you could get the T-shirt of the month club subscription. You can buy yourself custom baseball cards with your own face on. Look how adorable. They make great gifts, great stocking stuffers. Leave one for Santa with the cookies. He wants one too, I hear. But look here,
Hey,
anything in the shop, use the discount code Big Dave. You'll save yourself 10% across the board. Happy holidays to you from your big homie, Big Dave. Only at the TopFanRivalry.com shop. Check it out.
hey, Dave, I got to tell you something too. On a side note, and we'll talk about the break here in a second. But you got a Jose Altuve card, and you got a few other
Oh,
cards.
man. Yes. Okay. So,
You
full
nailed it.
disclosure, I was at a holiday dinner last night and was not able to watch the card pool live. And so I was wondering how I did. And a
You
little birdie
nailed it.
told me that I did get an Altuve. So I'm really, really happy after that. I think there may have been three other cards mixed in
Yeah,
there.
I think you might have even had a King Tuck in there. I don't remember exactly, but
I
I
didn't
know
get
you had
any
an
game
Altuve.
worn jersey or any one-of-one autograph. I'm not rich or nothing, right? That's, I mean,
No, you're
okay.
not. You're not rich.
All
The
right.
one autograph that came in the box, the only card representing this team, you're not going to believe this, Dave, but Alex of Tumble Travels bought the Angels. And you're gonna have to go back and watch the video. The video is only like 30 minutes. Sometimes just put
Okay.
it on when you're working, whatever. And Mike sees that the auto's in there because he's done this enough times. He's like, okay, I'm going to show that one last. He's like, I don't know who it is. So he goes through one card, two. There's only four cards in each pack with this thing, right? One card, two card, three card, and then he goes, here you go, autograph. I think it was a reflector card, Logan O'Hoppe.
Oh.
And she was ecstatic because her son's favorite player is Logan O'Hoppe. She's like, I've got my Christmas gift. I've got my Christmas gift. I'm like, yes, we do. Yes, we
There you
do.
go. There you go. Send it
So
in. Get it certified.
I
Cash it out later on.
a little birdie did tell me, by the way, those cards will be getting shipped out, I believe, Friday to all the participants, Friday or Saturday. A little birdie did tell me though that we have a new card break on the 19th. So one before the holidays again. And yeah, you can go vote on which ones you want and everything. It's great. But yeah,
I'm
you
calling
nailed it.
dibs on the Astros, guys. As soon as I'm done recording, I'm going and paying for it. So don't even try it. Go on and just save it.
Don't
Go buy
even go
yourself.
there.
Look here. Go on and sign up for the South Oklahoma Rangers. I know nobody's supporting those guys. Go ahead, help them out. Okay.
Oh
I
man,
mean,
I love it.
consider that your donation for the holiday season. Okay. Help out a team in need, the South Oklahoma Rangers. They need your help.
So one of the things that we're going to do, side note, Dave, on this is one of the things we'll do next year at some point is we're going to do a break, but everybody pays the same amount into the break, and then we'll spin and like one, like let's say you were number four, and lined up with number four was the Cardinals, you get the Cardinals. Like it's just a random spin of the thing. It's gonna be so much fun.
No, it's
People are
not
gonna
going to
be
be.
trading.
That
Going,
sounds like torture. What are you talking about? Fun?
you're gonna end
No,
up with
I
the
could end up
Rockies.
with a Yankee card. Get out of here. No
You're
way.
gonna end up with the
I would,
Rockies.
I would absolutely. You know what though? Fine. If I do, then I'm going to give you permission to get a big pair of scissors and cut up any non-Astro card that I get live on air. Cut it up.
Awesome.
I'm just cut it up, Bill, or I'll send you a shredder and the visuals, and then stop it, bring it back up, watch Judge's face again. No, even better yet, let it be Freddie Freeman. Bring it back up right before his teeth. Cut it
Right
again.
before his teeth.
You got to do it twice for those veneers.
There you go. All right, Dave, the final thing, man. I love this show. I love this show. So, final thing, we're going to go off the record. I want to ask you a question. I'm going to give you three names, and only three names. Okay. You tell me who you think those three, they've already signed, who is going to be the biggest impact player. And we can't say the contract because one person has an incredibly long contract. But what do you think is going to be the biggest impact player for their team? Blake Snell with the Dodgers, Max Fried with the Yankees, Juan Soto with the Mets. Who do you think is going to play the most impact?
Okay, so there's only one clear and obvious choice. Okay, I'm
Hmm?
not cheering for a Yankee, and I'm sure not cheering for a Dodger. So, um, to play the less of three evils. Juan Soto, like I said earlier, me second. I mean, deepest, hottest um, lineup in the National League. I mean, they were already on point. They already have a lineup full of hitters. It'd be interesting to see if Alonso stays. I mean, that's a whole lot of power in that lineup. They were already good. This may be just the electric bolt they need. After the end of last season, I see that the fans will probably be coming back early and often in this coming season. Get behind the players. But no, I think Juan Soto immediately will, start putting up numbers. Some of his best numbers have been put up in City Field. I mean, go check it out. Go look at the stats. So he will immediately start paying dividends, I think. Snell has been a notoriously slow starter. But after his last season and all of the calamity, I do it like that he was like, yo, let's get this done early. So hopefully the focus is there. He ended up, throwing lights out for the Giants at the end of the year. So much to my chagrin, the Dodgers just, it's next man up, reload, so it is what it is. And the Yankees will find some way to mess it up for you. I don't know how. They're snake bit at this point. But I just love the last couple of days saying 5 million short, huh? So just love it. I just love it. No, yeah, Soto is not clear and obvious answer there.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Not
I
to
get
mention the
where you're.
fact that I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
You know,
but this
you're
is an
good.
everyday player, and the other guys are pitchers, so the the immediate effect will be seen um, easier, and more quickly and available, waiting than other than waiting every 5 days.
So where I struggle with this, if you were to ask me the same question, I actually am going to say that Max Fried has the biggest impact because again, you put one. So let's just for fun say Polar Bear Pete comes back to the Mets. Then you got Polar Bear Pete, you got Francisco Lindor, you got Juan Soto. Okay, great. They can score runs. Can they pitch? Right. So
Last time I checked, as long as your number is higher than the other number, you win the game. So
uh,
maybe they're going to try to out hit everybody. I get it. Fried is phenomenal. I mean, he's a top notch starter.
mhm.
You know,
And then you put him in there with Gill, you put him in there with Garrett Cole.
Garrett,
So
what?
now,
No, it's Choke, right? Garrett Choke. I'm sorry,
yeah,
Cole.
yeah.
You're right.
He's
Yeah,
Garrett. Cover first. No, you cover first. You cover first.
yeah.
So,
So,
but it's
but I mean,
I
like I said, that's the Yankees. I mean, Judge can't catch. Cole don't field. It is what it is.
yeah, it's amazing. So, but anyways, that's a great thing. Dave, why don't you tell everybody one more thing? Because we've told them that we're on YouTube. We've told them they've listened to this on the morning, in their morning drive, whatever. Maybe they've watched it in the locker room. If they haven't gotten locker room access, locker room, there's so many things, Dave, that we're getting ready to announce for next year and why you want to be a locker room access member. But forget that for a second. Why don't you tell them what you submitted? You submitted something on TopFanRivalry.com. What did you
Look here.
submit? And tell everybody about this.
Like I said, tis the season. The holiday season is upon us. And here over at Top Fan Rivalry, we're much more than your one-stop shop for all your baseball needs. We throw a nice, big, thick, heaping helping of pop culture in there. So what they've got going on right now is the Christmas movie bracket showdown. All right. So we've got brackets of Christmas movies going head to head. I'm talking about the classics. We've got new stuff. We've got pop culture hits. I'm not going to divulge any names. You got to go there and check it out to see who made the brackets and vote. Submit your submissions vote to see if your favorite movie comes out on top. I personally have a favorite, and if it doesn't make it, I'm gonna call for a recount.
So
Just
let me just tell everybody, it's free to enter. You can enter twice. Dave, I entered twice. Both times I picked the same movie that you picked to win it all.
oh
I'm
yeah,
calling for a recount if that thing doesn't
yeah.
make at least
No,
a final four.
it's that. Look here, the movie goes without saying. If you're young, if you're old, look here. You got to go check it out. And I dare you to find out the movie that me and Bill know we're going to win. Go over to TopFanRivalry.com. Look, hedge your bets, okay? Make one bracket with your heart, make one bracket with your mind, okay? Do what you want to do. It's great fun for the holidays. Like I said, go over to TopFanRivalry.com. Check it out. You should just click on it right there. It's simple. Put your name in, fill out your bracket, submit it. It should be lots and lots of fun. Once again, happy holidays to everybody out there. Thank you for tuning in to an episode of Can of Corn. We will be out here periodically through the off season, updating you with free agent news, happenings, notes, and news from around the league. And we may throw in a joke or two, little pop culture. Look at these brilliant hats. I mean, that's the swinging Santa Claus. I mean, it just don't get no better than that. Um, Go on over, like I said, topfanrivalry.com. Hit the shop. Use discount code Big Dave. Go to YouTube. Mash the subscribe button. Bill, thank you for having me here again. I absolutely enjoy our time together.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Anything you need to say before we get out of here?
No, I'm looking forward to one more solid episode of this before the end of the month. And Dave, you always bring it, man. I tell you what, if Dave isn't on like some type of high energy thing, then something's wrong in his life, man. This guy is always full of energy and I love it. So
Hey,
Dave,
man,
thanks so
look
much.
here. Each and every day, get outside, rub a little sunshine on your face. You'll be all right, man. Like I said, thank you again for tuning in. We might see y'all before Christmas. It might be a little bit after Christmas, but we'll definitely check y'all before the new year here at Can of Corn. That's Baseball Bill. I'm Big Dave. Live the life you love the life you live, and as always, go Stros, baby.
Talk to you soon.